Good morning, everybody. I think I will speak on behalf of everybody in the room if I say that we feel absolutely delighted to start with to be where we are, on the beautiful island of Corfu. And most probably the mayor next to me, Mrs. Mayor, will confirm, most probably the more historical place of the island. So I will not speak about the history because Madam Mayor, I'm sure, will do it better. We are very grateful to be here, and that's clearly, it's clearly due to the excellent cooperation that we received from the municipality of Central Corfu and the Apontia Islands. Madam Mayor herself, Mrs. Jane and Mr. Dimoulis. We had an extraordinary reception and a real commitment that we have appreciated enormously. We also had an excellent cooperation from the Periferia, that means the regional government. The governor wanted to be with us. Unfortunately, something personal and difficult happened, and she could not. But her services are represented, and the cooperation experience was very good. And I will add a third very important partner, which is the Ionian University. The participation of the university was impressive. It's going to be impressive. It was impressive during the preparation, but it's really something of substance and of an extraordinary dynamism. And I hope and I trust that this will be obvious as we advance in our event. We have an event that is focusing on the SDGs because Ideagen, represented by the founder and president here, George Sifakis, is leading this process. And he's the really motivation and the real force that makes all this happen. We are also privileged to have the president of the American Community School, Ms. Pelonis, who is very active, very supportive, and very committed, and without whom, again, nothing could be possible. We have an extraordinary team, and we have the great privilege to have Madam Mayor with us. So I will give her the floor directly so that we can hear her comments. And then Mr. Sifakis and Madame Pelonis will follow, explaining a little bit the content and the context of the event. Madame Mayor.
Good morning to all of you distinguished guests. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to welcome you here in our historical city, in our municipality, the municipality of Central Corfu and the Apontian Islands. And in this historical and symbolic building, which used to be the Ionian Parliament of the Ionian state, which was the first autonomous state in the Greek field, in the Greek country, before the Greek state was even developed. We are here between the statutes of Kapodistrias, Ioannis Kapodistrias, who was the first governor of the Ionian and the Greek state, who was the founder, actually, of the Greek state and was developed in all the areas, the Greek state, and who believed that education is the key for the regeneration of a country, of the people. And on the other hand, Sir Frederick Lord Guildford, which was the founder of the Ionian Academy, the first Greek university in our country. So I believe with this synergy, with ALLILONnet, with Mr. Sifakis, with Madame Pelonis, we're very grateful for this cooperation because I think we can support, we can give the guideline and we can, with solidarity, give the opportunity and the perspective to our new people, to young people, for their education, their career, and their profession to go on and to make good to our societies, to our countries, to our people. So I think this cooperation is only of the benefit of our people and our countries. I would also like to say that Corfu is a monument, the old city and the historical center. It's a monument protected by the International Catalogue of UNESCO. So the whole of the old city, the two old fortresses, and what is in between, and a buffer zone of around 500 meters, is a monument protected of a global institution. That means we have the great responsibility and the moral duty to preserve, to develop, and to promote all this great atmosphere, this great history, this great tradition we have, and to pass it over to the next generation in the better way we can. You should also know that Corfu and the Ionian Islands, but especially Corfu, was never occupied by Ottomans, and that means that it has the impacts and the influences from the European Enlightenment, so it was the proper field to flourish and to develop the politics, the arts, the culture, the education. So I think is a great opportunity for all of us, and it's the proper field, it's the proper town to develop this cooperation and the ALLILONnet with all the partnerships to become an institution, and every 2 years to have these great works made in Corfu. The key word nowadays for us too, for the local government, for the municipality of Central Corfu, is sustainable development. I think is the key word nowadays for the local governments, for the regional governments, for the European, for the all institutions in the global area, because in the past, unfortunately, we have developed unsustainably. So now we have to resolve the problems of these impacts and for these negative results that the unsustainability brought. So it's one of our first goals, one of our first aim when we first established in the local authority in the September of 2019 to have a plan and a strategy to develop in a sustainable way our municipality, our island and our town. So one of the first steps we made was to sign the Covenant of Mayors for the climate and energy. One second step is to become a member of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council. And of course, we were and we are very proud for this, because we were one of the Greek candidates, and we become a part of the European mission of 100 cities, of intelligent European cities for the climate and the environment. So I think we are in the good path, in the proper road to help our city, to help the young people, to help our citizens, and to bring the sustainable development that it's the goal and the aim of all the planet, all the institutions around the world. So we are very glad to welcome you here. We hope that you have a nice stay in Corfu with great memories. We are expecting you back here very soon, and we are going to be on your disposal for the future and for many more synergies for the benefit, again, for our people and our countries. Thank you very much.
So it's incredible to be here, Mayor, hosting us today. It's such an honor to be with Capodistria's Mark Guilford, honored esteemed guests. Talking about the Sustainable Development Goals, the global goals of the United Nations. Ideagen was founded with a simple goal in mind, to create awareness for the global goals. In the room when we created it was former Congressman Louis Stokes. We honor his memory. He spent 30 years in the United States Congress. And he said, George, he said, this work is critically important to create awareness for the global goals. And I agree. Why? In 2015, all 193 member states of the United Nations, including the United States of America, agreed to these 17 global goals. They're not political. They're about making the world a better place. And that's what I personally love about the global goals, is there's no politics in the global goals. It's about getting to 2030, achieving the global goals, like the mayor said. And by the way, what an honor to be amongst such an incredible leader. I've interviewed thousands of people. The mayor of Corfu is a leader. You demonstrate it. Leaders lead is what they say. So I'm honored. It's a privilege for Ideagen to be part of this convening, to bring together cross-sector companies like Microsoft, organizations like the Public Foundation, and organizations like Otis Elevator coming together to talk about changing the world and creating awareness for these 17 global goals. I encourage everyone that's watching this program on Ideagen TV and beyond to take a look at the global goals. Go to globalgoals.org, go to ideagenglobal.com, and learn more about what these global goals are, because again, they're unanimously agreed to. Every single country that's a member of the United Nations, every member state agreed to these goals, and we're on our way to 2030. And Mayor, thank you for your leadership. Peggy, Pelonis, ACS Athens also leading the way, and Angelos Pangratis, Ambassador Pangratis, changing the world with ALLILONnet. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this incredible opportunity in this beautiful island. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you to Mayor Ydraiou and her wonderful team. It's obvious that as a team, they come together to work towards common goals, and that's very, very important. Of course, as an educational institution in Athens, Greece, an American community school with over 64 different nationalities, naturally, I believe that everything starts with education. And really helping young people understand and position themselves in the world as problem solvers, with really believing in a higher purpose, and that is improving life and living on the planet, is very, very important. And cultivating a mindset of being problem solvers rather than being victims of change, with all the interesting changes happening in the world because of technology acceleration and other things. It's very, very important to cultivate this kind of mindset so that not only they become successful and broaden their horizons, but also that they make a positive impact in the world in terms of improving their own life, somebody else's life, or life on the planet. To do this is extremely, extremely important to have the right partnerships, to have good partnerships. And Ideagen and ALLILONnet have been instrumental in developing these and broadening the horizons of young people. And of course, now with this partnership here in Corfu, this beautiful island where people come from all over the world, it's amazing to watch and see how open this team of people are to making these kinds of changes possible. So everything starts with education, because through cultivating mindsets of problem solving and improving life and living in an ethical way, I think that develops psychological muscle, which creates young people who are resilient and able to cope, not only cope with, but navigate all the changes that come their way, but also potentially to initiate change that will be for the better good. So thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and I look forward to further collaborations.
A wonderful introduction to our event. Let me just add one thing. The title of our event today, right,
is local change for global impact.
Just to prepare the minds for the next steps. This is an aspect that we will try to explain more, to make it understood. What does this mean, local
Change of global impact. I think it's
very important, it's fundamental for the future, and this is fundamental for the path that we have ahead of us, George, in what you said about the deadline of the 2030. Glad to be here. Thank you very much for your participation. That's the opening of our event. Thank you. Thank you, Madam.